is it okay to fight? Is it okay to fight? That's what we're talking about.
I thought you said something. No, I thought you said what? Which officer said, what kind of questions asked me? I thought you was asking me right now. Like what? You trying to fight?
Oh my God, yo.
Fight who?
You silly. You gotta come over a little bit. Did you grind it out today? Did you? And today's gonna be a doozy of a topic. Hey, what's up? I'm Rashad.
I'm Kesha.
Hang with the Joneses.
55?
Episode number
56?
56.
I was right.
Cool. Episode number 56. And if you haven't, you should subscribe, especially on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get to 1K by the let's say the end of summer. Trying to get to 1K by the end of summer. So if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that. We do more than just this. Also do reviews for the things that we like. Right now we'll be reviewing Loki and as well as Star Wars: The Bad Batch, both on Disney Plus. No sponsorship, but we also do that too. So go ahead and subscribe. If you listen on in your podcast platform, thank you. We see you. As we alluded today in the intro, we're talking about, is it okay to fight? I think this has to be a very nuanced conversation, because on the surface, the answer is like, nah. But when you kind of delve a little bit deeper into it, like, maybe. So as the subject matter expert of all things dealing with human relations and development, licensed clinical social worker, let us know, is it okay to fight?
Yes, it is okay to fight. However, you have to put parameters around it. When we say fight, we're not talking about physical. I'm not talking about actually.
Can't punch you in the stomach?
No. Only if I kick you in the head. But no, we're not actually talking about physical fight. But it's okay. Actually, confrontation and disagreements is okay. And actually, it's normal. As long as you have human relationships, you're going to have confrontation. You're going to have disagreement. You're going to have fights. It's just a matter of knowing how to do it.
I think over the years, we have kind of evolved how we deal with confrontation with each other. Mm-hmm. Early on, it was a very much, okay. Basically, we just setting boundaries, especially early on. Like, yo, I don't like this. I don't like that. The main thing was like, yo, don't put your hands on me. Don't yell at me. And it was very just setting, again, the parameters of what we did and didn't want. Mm-hmm. You know, Miles was like, yo, like, don't be calling me out my name and don't be trying to insult my intelligence. Like, that was, so we both had where we needed to start as a foundation. Mm-hmm.
But I think even something that's really good in learning, especially when you're talking about with your partner, or even like talking about a friend, boundaries. Like, okay, it's going to be natural. You're going to have disagreements. I don't care who you are and what relationship. Long as there's two human beings, there's going to be a disagreement.
How many human beings?
As long as they're human beings.
Oh, okay.
As long as they're human beings, there are going to be disagreements. As long as you maintain a relationship, no matter what sort, it's going to be conflict in the relationship. So I think you say parameters. That's the first thing. Hey, it's kind of like if you put it in like a physical boxing match.
Okay.
There's parameters. Don't hit below the belt.
Right.
You can't do this. When we see too much blood, it stopped. This fight is over. It's the same thing. Like, hey, back in the day, like, don't talk about my mama. So I think even relationship having healthy boundaries, like, okay, we're going to have a confrontation. But if this is a healthy relationship, your objective should not be to take me out.
True. And I think because we're so trained to think about a fight. When you think about a fight, we think about it has to be
a winner
and a loser. And depending on how competitive you are, you're going to want to win. And
no one wants to lose and no one wants to have a draw.
True. Draws suck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So I did all that and we still here. We still equal.
So like, you know,
it didn't happen.
Nobody won.
Right.
Okay, so the score is 2-2. And we're just gonna leave after this.
Right. So we all beat up and battered, and we still here, same level.
Yeah.
We ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. That's nobody. Yeah. That's a very American thing too. That nobody. Yeah. We trying to be winning. The fact that if my whole entire goal is to win, then those parameters you set, those are gonna be broken. You're gonna speed past through those.
What we identify like hot buttons. When I'm being hot button, it's like actually if someone say this word, they know they can get an instant reaction for you. So back in the day, it was like someone say something about your mother. It was like, oh, it's a fight now. You know, that was like the hot button. Hot button. So that's exactly what you say in the argument. Knowing like, okay, I'm not winning, or I'm gonna really take this to the next level. You push that button, you know, verbally.
Yeah. Yeah. Or trigger.
Is it okay to use those trigger words, those hot buttons? Is it okay? Is there ever a time and mind you, we're talking about a healthy relationship. We're not talking about someone you don't know, y'all get into and get hit. No, we're talking about a healthy relationship. Someone that you might want to maintain a relationship with, whether it be a family member, a friend, or your spouse.
Yeah, like somebody you actually know.
Yeah.
Co-worker. You know what I'm saying? Like people that you have to deal with on a regular basis. And for me, it's like, nah. Be very leery of people who are always trying to get an emotional reaction out of you. Those type of people are like, I always really trying to push, or trying to say like, you know, really trying to go there all the time. Like I'll be like, nah, man. Like I ain't even trying to be around you or listen to you because you want to see me react negatively to a situation that I shouldn't even be in the first place.
And it's what you'd be surprised at how many people knowingly say, I know he or she don't like when I say this, so that's why I said it.
That's trash.
But then when the smoke is cleared, you're like, dang, I shouldn't have said that. But you knew. Because now that other person who you said those trigger words, those hot buttons, they're not going. It's hard to forgive, or it's hard to heal that, because you knew that was a trigger word. You knew what it did, and you decide to use it anyway to hurt me.
Yeah, like there's a broken trust there.
Yeah.
So after you set parameters for this, like, you know, what's the next part?
I don't know this next part, but also I guess a caveat, or let your children hear you have disagreements.
True.
Now, when I said disagreements, if you're having them in a healthy way, it's nothing wrong with your children hearing it. But if you like, y'all might F you and that, no. And your baby mama, your baby daddy. No, don't have those conversations in front of the kids. But the reason why it's important for your kids to hear this disagreements, because you're teaching them how to handle disagreements themselves. So sometimes people have, and I'm telling you, I never see my parents argue. I never see this. So I didn't know that when they get in an argument, that confrontation was real.
Yeah.
I'm going to fly away from it. Or when I hear confrontation, I'm belling.
You know, I'm going to fight.
Or I'm going to fight.
Or I'm going to freeze.
So it's important so you can teach your children how to resolve conflict. It's called conflict resolution skills. So it is important to let your children see you have disagreements. Once again, the kind of PS or the star asterisk next to it is, but it can't be, I'm going to say, low down dirty fights.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't be out here like, you know, yelling, screaming, and cursing.
Yeah. Or someone had an extramarital affair and we're going to split. You know, like. Yeah,
or play this. It can't be out of the norm of what you all do. Because I know there's some people who legitimately, like, they be cursing on their kids all the time. And that's their norm. I don't really agree with it. That's not what I do all the time. But, like, that's their regular. So anything outside of their norm, that may not be considered healthy for their.
And so I'm going to put parameters on there. Let's say Rashad and I for dinner. It's a constant argument. What's for dinner? Like, we're in an argument right now. constant. Rashad's like, what you want for dinner? I'm like, I don't know. I want something good. Real life story. To let your kids see that conflict. That's conflict. Well, tell me what you want. Let's come to a medium. Let's come to a solution. And when I say conflict, ultimately have a solution. So not just having this conflict, but show them how you all worked together and came up with a solution.
Yeah.
So a solution may be, we're going to have
X, Y, Z.
Yeah. That's the solution. But see, it showed your children how you are able to mediate and come to a conclusion. Now, it's an unhealthy conflict. You all kind of just cursing and going off, and almost is aggressive. Because what that does to the children, one, when people say trigger words, it's already time for me to fight. It's always time for me to jump in, and it can produce anxiety.
Yeah, I think that's that's how I was gonna say too, because even if we get a little out of pocket, or we could even be playing, and they be like, "What are y'all doing?" You know, like this is automatic, because our norm is to not be out here being super reckless. Like, even our kids will see us frustrated with one another, but not be reactive towards our frustration, or really act out our frustrations on each other. And that's like a very difficult thing to not do. Like, to maintain, again, those parameters of how we want to, actually have a legit fight at times. It can't go to the point where I am, or we are, pushing past those, especially with our children around. Because then they're like, yo, my parents just be out here just arguing and really going below the belt the entire time. And
then you don't want them to take sides.
Because they will.
Or even blame themselves.
That happens too.
So that's a healthy arguments. You need to show them conflict resolution skills, not arguments where you all call each other everything but what the name you were born with. Healthy arguments.
Yeah, and after you set those parameters, you're gonna have to actually actively practice those parameters. So when the situations arise, you're gonna say, hey, okay, hey, remember what we talked about, yo. You know what I'm saying? And not feel like, oh, you just throwing this in my face. Nah, this is what we agreed on. So you can't take back what you said, because you're in the heat of the moment. And a lot of times people will say, I'm going to do all this stuff. And then when the situation arises again, we will revert back to the same old patterns. And I'm big on a pattern. So if you can't recognize your pattern, then your spouse is you're gonna have to allow and be vulnerable enough to let your spouse check you on whatever that is, and say, hey, we agree to this, but you ain't even doing it.
But even the check-in, let's say you checking, it's like time to check. And we both 10, being 10, we both we feel we're balling. We're boiling over, not balling.
Boiling.
Boiling. I said balling.
You said balling.
Yeah, balling. Okay, no. But when our blood is hot and we're like, yo, we know this we're in the midst of a confrontation. That's not the time for you to provide me a lesson on my patterns. It's not going to be well received. And it's good. I always use the scale, and that's what's the importance of the triggers. Know your triggers. 0, 1, you kind of get hot, and then your body even shows you cues when you're getting kind of worked up.
True.
Rashad knows when I'm going. When I start doing a certain thing, he like, what's wrong? And sometimes I was like, dang, he picked up on it. Knowing your partner cues. When it's time, let's say a 5. A 5 is a time where we need to address this issue now, or it has to come to some kind of conclusion. Because once you get at a 10, no one is going to hear what you said, even if it made total sense what you're saying. So at a 10,
ain't no talking no more.
I can't teach you anything. You can't teach me anything. It can be logical.
It's no reasoning. So you might as well just wait.
So that's, I think, it's another thing with engagement. If you know that you are already here, logic going out the window.
Yeah,
you're not going to receive it, so it can come off offensive. Now, once you start going down and it's 4 or 5 again, that's the time we can kind of talk about it. Like, okay,
you was wilding, right?
Right.
It wasn't even like that, and it took me a long time to really kind of get it and understand that. And on the real, it took us a long time too. And even even now. Where we are now, we won't do that, but we will I feel like we're at a place now where if we say something, it won't be as offensive, but we will say exactly how we feel. You know what I'm saying? Even if we get a 5 or 6, maybe in a 7, you're like, yo, I ain't feeling that, y'all. And then Keisha be like, man, shoot, whatever, y'all. And like, it's not to the point where I gotta go back and like be on some, on some, it's not even like that. It's just like we both said our piece, and that's it. Mm-hmm. Because we've been doing this for like 20 years. So
and it grow. I'm gonna say one thing, and then even going back to our history of communication, learning how your partner fight. You have to learn how each other fight. Rashad knows that when I get to my 9, 10, don't talk to him no more. I shut all the way down. I don't hear anything. Everything sound like, like really. I'm done. When Rashad eyes start getting low, he's done. I wait till your eyes full bloom again before we have this conversation. So I know when his eyes start getting low, he don't hear anything ourselves. So it's no more having conversation. Go back, go to our separate corners, process in your head, get it out. When your cool heads prevail, come back and have that conversation. Rashad is the point, like, let's have this conversation now to get it over. I'm like, you don't want me to say what's on my mind now. Give me time to cool down. Yeah. Which at first, he was like, Rashad used to preach to me. Literally, like the word said. And then, I'm a believer, but don't tell me this right now when you're a 10. I'm a 10. Don't tell me anything about, try to use the Bible as your defense. But so I feel like that has gone. And then Rashad before was in a place where he didn't feel like he can talk to me. And not because I told him not to. Where that came from?
I don't know, because sometimes we were like, even because either I didn't want to have the conversation, or I know it was a sore or a soft spot before, so I don't want to go back to that place and have that same arguing conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like
And it took a while to get there because you blamed me for a while.
Yeah, because like I hate repeating myself. Mm-hmm. Like, that's just like, yo, like, why I gotta say the same thing 20 times, yo? Like, I've already said this. So even if I offended you, you know what I'm saying? I'm still like, yo, I'm not doing this on purpose, or I'm being apologetic. Why I gotta keep saying the same thing? Like, that was a real point of contention for me. Mm-hmm. So I had to learn how to essentially just get over myself and still reiterate the thing. And I still be struggling with that sometimes too. Because
even before, Rashad was like, I don't want to talk to you because, and I'm like, Rashad, but you never talked to me. So how do you have this already final decision, or this is what I'm going? Like, he had a conversation. I call it Issa Rae from Insecure show. He has it in a dialogue, and somehow in this inner dialogue, he already took the role of me and what I was going to say. So then he's like, well, you're going to say this, but you never gave me a chance to say anything because you didn't tell me. So that would cause a conflict, because in his head, he's already coming back with everything I said, but I never said because he never brought it up to me. That caused a lot. So we finally got through that.
Yeah. But based on my evidence of what we've been through, I'm not about to say and do this anymore. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I just wouldn't say nothing. Or like, I would be like, all right, well, this happened and this happened. I'm pretty sure this is gonna happen next. I'm just gonna keep it moving. Mm-hmm. Or even like those are the times where I had to I had to trust myself enough to say the thing. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times, like, I still tiptoe around that because, like, I legit don't want to hurt people's feelings on purpose. Like, that is like, I'm not really there. Like, that's not who I am as a person. Before, I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna do this situation right now and be done with it. But I really try not to live like that, because I don't want that to be somebody's lasting impression of me. Like, that's just how I feel. But other than that, like, I really want to make sure that what I say and what people even interpret based on what I said is actually what I meant. And I be sucking a lot at that, even now. Like, yo, like, what I say and what you hear could be two totally different things, and that don't even be my intent.
And then even with that, like, and sometimes Rashad's getting better at that now. We both getting better at this. To say, so what I'm hearing you saying is, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, like you said, perception. We all can look at the same painting. We all can see the same, hear the same dialogue. We all can watch the same movie, and everybody come out with a different opinion of it, and all of it may be right. What I'm hearing you saying is X, Y, Z. And sometimes I'll ask Rashad, what do you hear me saying? And oh my gosh, we came such a long way, because I can be like, the moon is outside. That brings me like I could talk about anything. Rashad like, so you tell me you didn't like the movies? It's like, what? I wouldn't even talk about a movie theater. We talk about.
That's what I heard.
Right? It was like, what? So we have gone way better than that. I think now. What do you think? Our current hurdle is body language.
Yeah.
And people would say, how's that part of fighting? Rashad would tell me one thing, and I'm very in tune to discernment. So I can pick up people's body language, their energy quickly. I can pick that up before I hear the words that come out your mouth. So Rashad sometimes would tell me one thing, but I feel his body, and I do the same thing. I'm not going to say it. I do the same thing. He can tell me one thing, but I feel his body, and I can feel it that it's not that. And sometimes he like, Kesha, what's wrong? Nothing. But you can clearly see I got something wrong, but nothing. So I think that's the next part. Yes, your body language can be an indicator that you're in the argument you don't even know about.
Yeah, and that comes, I know, like especially for you, it's just a matter of being vulnerable and having
that is the truth
and in the moment, because people can be vulnerable when they're ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, yo, this is what's going on. But if somebody calls you out on that in a very non-argumentative, like, situation, you're like, hold on. Well, like, something's wrong with me? Like, fam, we've been I legitimately know who you are as a person. Like, I know you. So I know something is wrong. So either you can say like, hey, I'm not really ready to talk about it right now, or you can be like, okay, this is what's really bothering me.
And I don't. I look at you crazy.
Yeah, like,
and I'm silent. Like,
and like, I'd be like, yo, like, fam, like, what, you think I'm stupid or something? Like,
and he like, Kesha. I'm like, I would not. Oh, and that's another one argument. If you tell me something about myself in front of people, done. It's already a 10.
Yeah,
already a 10.
Not a fan of that at all, and which I definitely don't do.
And you're not a fan either. Most people aren't a fan about that. Most people don't want to be called out or feeling. Like, we just left home, and you wait till we got here in front of a million people to tell me about this.
Yeah, I mean, it's certain stuff that I would never talk about in this podcast for that reason alone. I would just politely edit it all out and keep it moving. like so, y'all would never know.
But that is the truth. So that's our next hurdle. Is how to make our language and our body language line up. So when I say it out my mouth, my body is telling you the same thing. And it's funny because especially from my mother, our face tells her, I've gotten better. Because being in counseling, I've gotten better. You'll never know what I'm talking about.
But I'm saying, but you haven't gotten better with personal, with showing your face.
No, it's not. So I can say one thing and my face will do something, sometimes intentionally and sometimes unintentional.
Yeah, like now, like I've just accepted it. Like, I'm not even gonna try to hide how I feel. Like, it's like, whatever, yo, this is where I am right now. Either you accept it or you won't. I can't, because I can't hide it. So I just...
Yeah, but you do. You try to hide it.
Yeah, with you, but like in other people,
yeah,
I'm like, man, this is it. Because again, my goal...
Excuse me.
You're fine. Like, my goal, again, is to not hurt your feelings. You know what I'm saying? And
that's the thing.
And there's and even like one of the reasons why I started going to therapy, and first it was like, yo, I need to learn how not to be a jerk to my wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was one of the reasons. He was like, write down some reasons, Rashad, because she's going to ask you. So that was like number 2. Because even in like regular conversation, like, I don't want it to be like, man, like, why are you like this? And I'd be like, man, I don't know. I just
and and I'm not one for this is just how it is.
Yeah.
I do not. I think that sometimes where maybe even being black, hearing sometimes even growing up, well, that's just how such is. That's not acceptable for me. For me, it's not.
It's a cop out.
Yeah, it's not so. Well, he's abusive. Well, that's just how he is. What you mean? No, that's not. So yeah, you can't. It can't be. Communication is something that's constantly improving. There's going to always be an obstacle. So once again, as long as you have two people, different lifestyles, y'all got the same lifestyle, there's going to be conflict once in a while.
Yeah.
And Rashad and I, we actually don't argue often.
Nah.
It takes a while for a blow up.
Yeah, for real. Because, to be honest, it'd be a lot of microaggressions.
Yeah.
We would say little small stuff in passing all the time.
And we started our relationship like that. Like, he was like, "Are y'all arguing?" No, we were having fun.
Yeah, but sometimes it switched from fun to actual just being real petty. And
you know how you play fight when you're a little kid, and then end up y'all real fight.
Yeah. That's how I be a lot. I didn't really think.
What you playing? But I told you don't say that word. You said it anyway. But we was playing. No, that's a no word. No.
Yeah, you should know better than that. So,
it don't matter.
And that's kind of leads us to the last point, and that is just making sure that you show and give grace. You gotta allow grace through this entire process when it comes to, again, setting your parameters. What was the second one we said? I wrote it down because y'all be forgetting. Mm-hmm. All right, yeah. So after when you set your parameters, and then when you actually have to practice.
That's a good, yeah.
Practice. You gotta have to practice fight. I mean, that's just really that's the. I mean, even when you're boxing, you practice fighting the whole time, and then you actually fight. Mm-hmm. So after you set those parameters, after you practice, you have to allow grace, because y'all gonna mess up. There's gonna be some times where I know for me, I'll be messing up all the time. And if you really know me, Rashad is going to say something wrong. He may not meant to hurt your feelings, but he may legitimately hurt your feelings. And if you don't really let him know, he's going to continue to hurt your feelings. Mm-hmm. Because this is the parameters that you set, and I'm going to keep going with it.
That's it right there. Two more things, and we get in now. When there's something happen, you have to address it in the moment. You can't bring old stuff up to a new fight. You can't bring, old wineskins to, what's the scripture?
Yeah, new wine or old wineskins.
Yes. You can't bring new wine to old wineskins. Yes, you can't. So if we're talking about the tea in China, the conversation, the argument has to remain the tea in China. I can't say, but remember 2 years ago you said, or last week, and now, if you really didn't let it go, you can't bring it up, because that's not fair for the other person. Because I didn't know I offended you, and then you break it up 2 or 3 months later. I have no defense. That I have no defense. You already won. Yeah, I can't even tell you what happened in the moment, because I didn't know it bothered you.
It was a whole event for me, mm-hmm. and it was nothing to you. And we had that issue early on a lot.
And you didn't tell me, so you because remember such and such. No. And then you getting mad.
You don't remember that? No, I don't remember the offense, because you didn't let me know. You
didn't
I was
tell
offended.
me it was an offense.
And we dealt with that for years back and forth. I would do something, you'd be like, "Yo, but Rashad, how dare you forget this?" Fam, I be forgetting all types of things. Yeah,
you had to bring it up in time. You can't go back and drag it. It's not a fair fight. It's not a fair fight if you go back and if you're using physical terms, you go back and bring all your people to jump somebody. That's kind of what bringing up an old memory. You leave the other person know, because I didn't know it was a problem for you, so it's gone out my head. It was just a regular day for me.
Retroactive offenses.
Yep, absolutely. And the last part, the for real last part, you got to have what's the goal in mind. Think about the end in mind. If our goal is just to solve the tea in China, we need to work towards solving that. As opposed to now we arguing. Remember, it's still conflict resolution skills. We arguing, and then we okay.
Since we here.
But what's the solution?
Might as well talk about all this stuff.
Right, but you know what I mean? Yeah. So you have to think about what's the end in mind. Even arguments, if there's an offense, what's the solution? Because if there's no solution, if you don't come up with a plan, guess what's going to occur? that same disagreement.
Yeah, hence why there has to be a certain amount of grace given. Because
I agree.
I'm just being honest, as the one who was usually doing most of the offending, you feel really bad that you are doing the offending. Like for me, I did. Like, yo, like some of this stuff, like I was not trying to do. That was not my intent. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you a great example. Rashad will lose anything. And I will not, in the way that my mind works, I will not care if I lose it. If I can replace it, then I'll just replace it. Kesha will be so pissy mad if I lose something because in her mind, it's like, you're not being responsible, you're being lax, you're like, how are you even a good dad? Like, how are you
taking it too far.
Like, who are you as a husband? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're a horrible person because you lost this thing.
He's taking self-talk.
I'm joking.
But for real, because oh my gosh, that's my trigger.
That's you said that. You said self-talk because like that's, even though you don't say that, that's what you project. You know what I'm saying?
I agree because that is a trigger. I'm not gonna lie.
So I have to.
Rashad, oh my God, you just tricked me. Rashad loses important, like.
I just lost a car last week.
Yeah. Car keys. We still haven't found some car keys.
I'm pretty sure I didn't lose those.
Yes, you did.
I think Madison did lose in garbage.
He lose car keys. It's just stuff that he lose. It's like, oh my gosh, I really question sometimes. Like, are you ADD a little bit?
Nah, I wish. Get a check.
Get some medicine. But yeah. Oh my gosh, you see, I was wrapping up when you said that is a trigger.
Yeah.
Oh my God, knowing your opponent.
Yeah. So So, and there's some things like, again, I won't talk right now because I'm not sure if you want to divulge things about yourself, but like vice versa, where I know that this is a thing. So how upset am I going to get when this has always been the expectation? This has always been the standard. So am I going to allow myself to have grace in the situation and show grace? Or am I just going to be mad because it doesn't go the way that I think it should go? And that'd be a struggle for me. Because I'm like, yo, it shouldn't be going this way. But why? Because it's never been this way. So why are you expecting something different? You know, and that'd be your response. I'd be like, this is stupid.
There's consequences to behaviors. There's consequences. Yeah. I'm not gonna say it's perfect, but once again, if I know I do something like, dang, Rashad told me not to do that, not did it, and then turn out well. Here we go. And it's vice versa. He knows we're losing the like. Yeah, it is what it is.
But the thing about it with you is that you so stubborn, you won't show it at all.
I do try to hide it.
Like
I ain't gonna lie,
like
I do.
For me, like I'll like you said before, like I'll be first to apologize. Keisha be like,
I be trying to.
I don't even know.
I have gotten better.
I don't know what you're talking about. Like
I've gotten better with apologizing.
Recently, yeah, I have. Very like last year.
Like I could be wrong, like wrong. I'm gonna stay strong and wrong. You might think that? Nope.
Like, oh, so you're not even gonna apologize for this? I don't remember. Did I do something wrong?
Now I do apologize. I have gotten a lot. Give me my roses.
It be like
I've gotten a lot better.
Yeah, like you apologize and it's like somebody stumbled to the finish line. Like you just be like barely doing it.
I did it. It's a process. I did it. That's improvement.
Yeah.
I did it. Shoot.
Yeah, and that'd be my trigger. Apologize, yo. So anyway.
And that's what he said. Apologize, yo. No, when he says that, that's another trigger. Apologize, yo. What?
You're wrong. Apologize.
Right. So I feel like he's badgering me. Like,
I'm not badgering you to do the thing you should do. Man.
No, like I'm like, okay, in my head, like, okay, I gotta know, like I say, I have to apologize. I'm like, my bad. He like, no, not my bad. Apologize.
Because if I didn't apologize, what would you be like? Oh, you're not apologizing, huh?
No.
Okay.
No, you know that's not my saying. My saying is like, don't tell me apologize, do something different.
Yeah, but then you be like, oh, you're not going to apologize, huh? Gotcha.
I do. Yeah. But
you.
Apology has to come with action. You can apologize till you turn blue in your face. Let me see you do something different.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's another conversation for another time. Boy.
Got me triggered.
Yeah, definitely. All right.
Yeah, hurry up so we can go fight.
Let's wrap this.
You heard me?
Yeah, I heard you. again, if you've been listening and watching, you stay this long, man, we appreciate you. You're the real MVP, of course. Like, share, subscribe. And if you see us on the socials, share. It doesn't take much to increase engagement, especially if you actually like and appreciate what we do. Low-key on Wednesday with all the girls, probably, if they wake up. Bad Bash on Friday with me and Maddie. Vlog Saturday. And we will see you until the next time.